Listen, just listen. Just listen. Can you hear that? The nothingness? Let's investigate that! Today we're reviewing the episode Listen that was sent a long time ago. I will give you the explanation as to why I haven't reviewed this episode yet in a minute. First, let's take the intro. Alright, you guys, so the reason why I haven't reviewed this episode when it actually aired was because I was in the hospital with my grandma because she was dying of cancer, and so I didn't have time to do a review of this episode, but I don't want to let you guys down, so of course I'm here today to review the episode because I don't think it really matters that much that it's been a while because at least I review it, you know. So without further ado, let's get started. Here's how it's going to work out. First, I'm going to tell you a little recap of the episode, then I'm going to tell you some things that I liked about the episode and some things that I didn't like about the episode, and then in the end, I'm going to review it, actually rate the episode. So without further ado, let's get started. Here's a short recap. The episode starts out with Clara returning back home from a date with Mr. Danny Pink. Turns out the date went horribly, and both Clara and Danny are embarrassed. When Clara enters her bedroom, the TARDIS is blocking most of it. Behind it, she finds the Doctor. He says he needs her help with something as they enter the TARDIS. The Doctor then goes on to explain Clara about his theory that everyone has once had the same dream. He goes on to explain that a dream where you wake up in the middle of the night and something is under your bed pulling you in is the most common dream in the universe. He wants to go to Clara's childhood to investigate the theory. He goes on to show Clara that she can fly the TARDIS with her mind. All she has to do is think back on the first time she had the dream, and the TARDIS will automatically go there. Clara, however, is distracted because of her date with Danny, so much so that she ends up flying the TARDIS to Danny's childhood to when he had the dream. They walk out of the TARDIS and discover a children's home. Confused as to why they're there, the Doctor goes inside to investigate while Clara stays outside. While being outside, Clara notices a boy in a window. That little boy is Rupert Pink, a boy who hates his name and will go on to eventually change it to Danny. Realizing this, Clara goes up to his room. She goes on to tell Rupert that there is really nothing under the bed to scare him, and that it's only in dreams. To prove her point, she goes in under the bed with Rupert to show him that there is nothing. As they are under the bed, a mysterious figure covered in a blanket sits down on the bed on top of them. Clara thinks that it's one of Rupert's friends playing a prank on them. All of a sudden, the Doctor shows up. He goes on to explain Rupert that being scared is a superpower. They all turn away from the creature, and it leaves. Afterwards, Clara takes the TARDIS back in time to save her date with Danny. While she's trying to talk to him, a person in a submarine diving suit comes in and tells Clara to follow him. Turns out it is Awesome Pink, a distant relative of Clara from 100 years in the future. They all go together to the end of the universe, where the Doctor found Mr. Awesome. While at the end of the universe, the Doctor decides to investigate what may or may not be out there in the darkness. As we move along in the episode, it turns out that there is nothing out there, and so they all leave. In her confusion, Clara flies the TARDIS to Gallifrey, where she sees the Doctor as a little boy. Turns out all along it's just been the Doctor who has been afraid of the dark, and what is under the bed. The episode ends with the Doctor flying Awesome and Clara home, as he continues on traveling. Alright, that was a short recap. Now for some things that I liked about the episode. I really liked finding out a bit more of Danny's story. Oh, and I really liked the Doctor alone in the TARDIS. That's when he's the most insightful and clever, is when he's alone. And the CGI! Once again, I was amazed by the CGI. Good work, Doctor Who team. Keep it up. And I really like Danny as a child. He seems way more likable as a child than as an adult. I really like when the Doctor says, the TARDIS isn't supposed to come this far, but some idiot turned the safeguards off. It's a nice little reference back to the 10th Doctor. I also really liked in the end when we saw a little glimpse of what seemed to be the Doctor's parents. We've never gotten any sort of backstory on the Doctor's parents, so it was nice to see them, or just hear them for a short second. And I really liked the simplicity of the episode. It was short, simple, and to the point. It was amazing. Alright, now for some things that I didn't like about the episode. I really don't like the Doctor's ignorance towards so many human things, such as sex. He was hiding in Clara's bedroom if she took Danny home. What exactly did he think she was gonna do? Make him a cup of tea? I mean, she probably would. They are British. But afterwards, they were probably, just saying. Oh, and maybe I'm just such a big nerd of the classic series, but I really miss seeing episodes split up in 2 parts. Like, for example, this episode, I felt like everything in this episode was rushed because it was only, 45 minutes. They could have split it up in at least 2 parts. I really hated that we didn't get an explanation to as whom was under the covers, or who exactly wrote "listen" on the Doctor's blackboard. Like I said, everything was very rushed in this episode. And what's up with Clara's enactment in the end? It made no sense. I'm confused. Is there really a creature with us all the time, or what? I mean, if Clara's the reason behind all of this, then what's the point? It was disappointing. Come up with another BEM, bug-eyed monster, Steven. Please. Alright, now for my final review of the episode, I give the episode 3.5 out of 5 TARDISes, because overall the episode was pretty good. The only real critique I have for the episode is that it was so rushed, like I said before. At the end, I was more confused than I was understanding. So many things didn't add up. Did anybody actually read the script except Steven before actually making this episode? Because this episode really has Steven Moffat written all over it. Right, this is for me. I'm going to take a little break from this channel and return in December with the review of the Christmas special, and then after that, I'm going to come up with a brand new series. You guys are going to love it, so be excited. And until then, I'll see you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to check out my Facebook, my Twitter, my Instagram. Links are in the description. But most importantly, be sure to check out my review of the Christmas special, which is right here. Allons-y! Yes, that's right, everybody. I'll see you when I do the review of the Christmas special that has not gotten a name yet, but I think it's going to be really exciting, so I'm really looking forward to reviewing that episode. And until then, goodbye.